Radio Rahim here with Joel Diaz, right before another huge fight for you. But before we get there, obviously we've got to revisit the major event that just took place a couple weeks ago. First of all, how's Tim?
Tim is great. He's out there, just enjoying his time off, after an intense training camp and an intense fight.
He did the post-fight press conference, and he seemed actually in relatively good spirits. Obviously, he wanted to win the fight, no doubt about that, but he didn't seem down about his performance. How did he feel about his performance?
Well, all the team as well as him, we talked about it like, hey, man, that was a great performance. It wasn't the performance we expected, due to some little issues that happened in the fight, but, overall, everything was better than the first one. We go home with a defeat, but a defeat like this, when you put up a great performance, is better than a controversy like the first one. So his spirit is good. He's not complaining. He's good. We know we lost the fight. Because going into this fight, we knew that going a decision, it wasn't going to be in our favor. Well, I mean, we felt a lot of things. Coming into the scene that weekend, everything was Manny, and at the same time, the world of boxing felt like they owed him something. Going a distance with a Manny Pacquiao on a close decision, we were not going to get it. So Tim was looking for the knockout, looking for the stoppage. He pushed himself a little extra hard, to clearly beat him. But it is what it is. We lost the fight. We come home. We just gotta wait for him to get better and come back to the gym and see what happens next.
Now, you said that it wasn't the performance that everyone expected. It certainly wasn't the strategy that most people expected. How much did you have to do with deciding that was going to be the way you guys went about this fight? And did he execute it the way you intended?
Well, he was executing the game plan in the first rounds. Up to the 5th or 6th round, he was doing really good. And then he comes to the corner and he tells me he pulled a muscle on his calf. So after that, the game plan was out the door. We threw the game plan out the door, and we just decided to fight. One way or another, we said, you know what? Forget about it. Let's just fight. If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down swinging, but we're gonna give the people what they want: a fight.
Turning to this week coming up, it's your brother in the ring. Now, I know you and Timothy are close, but it doesn't get too much closer than two brothers.
Right.
In a fight like this, knowing how long and how far Diaz has come in his career and the moment where he's at right now, how emotional are you about this matchup?
I don't get emotional. I don't mix emotions with business. This is boxing. Even though it's my brother, really, I feel no sympathy for him. He chose this sport. I'm there to guide him into a victory. I'm there to support him and guide him into a win. But we're fighting the fight together. But at the same time, not only with him, with every fighter, I gotta make sure that there's a limit. If I see he gets hurt, I know up to a certain point how hurt he is. I will not let it go. I'm here to protect him as well. I mean, he is my brother, and I know that sometimes there's differences between your brother and another fighter, but you know what? At the end of the day, they're all fighters. They're all the same. I treat them equally. I feel no sympathy for anybody, even if it's my brother, because they're fighters. They chose the sport, so they're going to fight regardless. If the things get tough, hey, they have to suck it up, or we can just go home.
Now, I asked you that question because I just spoke to him, and he said that, at this point, he doesn't want to go back to the drawing board. Like, it's kind of an all-or-nothing fight for him, suggesting that he would retire if this fight ended in a loss. How do you feel when you hear those words, and how do you guys discuss that?
Well, everything has a beginning and everything has an end, And I think that he's already towards the end of his career. And, after 3 straight losses, I just say that, opportunities don't come around too often. This is a great opportunity for him. That's why he's taking it serious. He trained real well. I mean, physically he's good. His weight is good. Mentally he's good. So he needs to take advantage of his opportunity, because if at the end of the day he don't get the decision, I don't think there's nothing good for him out there but just to be a stepping stone for up-and-coming fighters.
And lastly, Joel, most people don't give him much of a chance. Obviously, Thurman's on his way up. He's undefeated. He's been very successful here of recent. What is it that they're overlooking? What is it that they don't realize about Diaz that and is going to get the victory for you Saturday night?
Well, I just think boxing is common sense. Just if you put your things together, you realize. Just go back in Julio's career, his last 3 fights, he fought American. went 12 rounds with Amir Khan, and he hurt Amir Khan. The fight was real close, you know, closer than what they gave it. Now, and then he fights a Sean Porter who is a world champion now and executed upon Malignaggi. Fought him once. I thought he beat him the first time. The second time we lost, but, you know, he went the distance, you know, against a strong fighter like that. So that to me gives me a lot to think about. You know, he's fought two of the top fighters in the business right now. They couldn't do nothing to him. No, so he is where he needs to be right now to fight a guy like Kieth Thurman. You know, after Saturday night, we're going to determine where he stands. But I just think that he can surprise a lot of people.
And after a couple Saturdays ago, where does Timothy Bradley stand, and what would you like to see for him next? What's the best next opponent for Timothy Bradley?
You know what? I don't really decide on that. You know, I just let the promoters do their job. You know, I just want to see Tim, you know, recover fast and get back to the gym and see what they got in line for us next.
Well, there's been a lot of speculation about the Floyd Mayweather visit before the Pacquiao fight. Obviously, it was a conversation that the press wasn't privy to previous to the fight, but now that it's over, can you give us some indication about what that meeting was about?
No. They just, you know, they just communicate. You know, Floyd and Tim, you know, they talk. You know, they just, you know, wish each other good luck, and you know, they just talk about their future fights and basically it. But there's nothing among each other in the plans. But if that will be a plan in the future, that would be great. I think Tim can give Mayweather some problems because of his style, you know. But I just, like I said, you know, Mayweather is by far one of the best fighters in the world. I don't see anybody right now that can beat him, you know, because he is so skillful, so smart, and he's always on top of his game. Was
there any strategy discussed about the Pacquiao fight with Tim and Floyd Mayweather? No. You know, they're very professional people. You know, they keep everything to themselves. You know, they just like friends. You know, hey, good luck. You know, keep your composure and do your job. You know, you already did everything in the gym. Go put it to work. You know. And lastly, Joel, you did say that you felt like Timothy is a good matchup for Floyd Mayweather. Do you think that Timothy Bradley can beat Floyd Mayweather? And if he could, how so? And with what?
I really don't know, man. That would be a very complicated fight plan to put together because, I mean, Mayweather is like, I mean, you can't read the guy, you know. I mean, I just believe that anybody is beatable, but I don't know, man. There's something about Mayweather that's so special, man. He's just so slick, man. He's so smart. And I don't know, man, I would have to, you know, take some real time off and figure out a way to beat him. But, I mean, a lot of people have tried and they haven't accomplished it. So, you know, that would be an honor to put a game plan together to beat Mayweather, man. That would be great. But for right now, I don't think about that right now. I got other things in mind, and one of them is my brother and Omar Figueroa Saturday night.
Good luck, Joel Diaz, on Saturday night.
Thanks.
Radio Rahim with Joel Diaz.